Right, morning, Stig. Been a little while since we had our last catch up, I think, but there's plenty going on. We got a very busy December on and off the pitch. Obviously starting with tomorrow's game against Russell.
Yeah, lots going on. Going to be a really, really busy month. Clearly, we've had a couple of postponements, which means we haven't really seen any football for a couple of weeks. So we've had to slot those. The Darlington away game is obviously being slotted in a couple of weeks on a Tuesday. And hopefully the Scarborough game can then be the following week as well, with a bit of luck. Not ideal. Darlington away on a Tuesday night clearly isn't ideal for anybody. It's a bit of a nightmare, but you do have to try and rearrange these games for kind of like the earliest possible opportunity once they're postponed, so you don't really get that much leeway. And if there's not a really good reason why you can't arrange them, you have to kind of get them in the calendar. So we realise that's going to be difficult for people with the expense of Christmas and the travelling and need a market on the Saturday before. But there's not a whole lot we can do about that, really. We, have to get the games played, and what you don't want is risk a backlog further on in the season as well. So it's better off trying to slot them in while acknowledging it isn't ideal for people. And apologies for the people it's going to cause people issues who like to try and go to as many away games as possible. But it is where we are, and yeah. It's just going to be absolute chaos. I think I was trying to work it out. It's potentially 7 or 8 games, isn't it now? I think in December or something ludicrous like that. But yeah, we're in a decent position going into the period. Obviously, we can get some decent results, and it's probably, for me, it's all about being in contention when you enter the new year. You get into the new year, you've probably got 20 games to go, and then if you're in contention, anything can happen from then on. And it's just about remaining in touch and keeping yourself in amongst it in the dogfight at the top of the table. So hopefully starting tomorrow, we can pick up some decent results, and as we enter 2025, we'll be in a positive place still.
Just very quickly going back to the postponement of Darlington, I think it's worth kind of praising Darlington on the way that they did it. Obviously, they took into account travelling of the team and also supporters that may have been going up on the Friday, and it was good to see an early decision from Darlington rather than leaving it to the Saturday morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just taking a common sense approach to it, isn't it? And thankfully, not all clubs, it appeared, were doing that. In other matches that were called off much later, and teams had travelled huge distances. But fair play to Darlington. Nick, our secretary, was in touch with the Darlington secretary for the 24 hours ahead of the postponement, really just to try and see where they were, to keep everybody updated. Part-time footballers as well, it's important for them to get a sense of where they are and what they might be having to do. We were travelling up on Friday as well, so it was even more important for us to try and get a sense of what the pitch was looking like. And I don't think in the end I think it was exactly the right decision. I don't think there was a lot of games. Well, I think the vast majority of the games in the northwest and the north were postponed, weren't they? Unless people have got undersoil heating, and there's not many undersoil heating systems kicking around in the National League North, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, thank you to Darlington for that. And we always try and act in a similar way for our home games when there is any doubt. And obviously the Scarborough home game was a demonstration of that, to be honest with you, because it looked like that was going to be touch and go, and we had to call it off in the end and save Scarborough travelling on a Tuesday as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue with the Scarborough game, obviously, the pitch was covered in snow, but it wasn't really the snow that called the game off. It was the pitch was soaking wet underneath it, and obviously then taking into account the snow that would have melted, it was just water. The water that was on the pitch that was the culprit at the end of that led to the postponement. But looking ahead to tomorrow, the pitch is great. Looking out the window now, Ben has done a fantastic job to get it back up and looking really good. So no worries over the pitch tomorrow. And like I think you touched on, it's a big game after a bit of a mini break.
Yeah, we've obviously had a few injuries and things like that. So hopefully this almost 2 weeks off has hopefully given us a chance to just a few of those bodies to move a little bit closer to returning to action. I feel a bit sorry. Poor old Jaden White must feel like he's retired, because he's obviously signed about 4 weeks ago, and hasn't been able to have a kick of a football yet for us in competitive action. So I'm sure he's chomping at the bit to play. And obviously we brought Dylan in on loan from Swindon as well, which is going to be interesting to see how Dylan gets on, because obviously we've got Tate suspended for in the short term. So yeah, looking forward to it. It's one of those games on paper you look at it and think home win, or people from outside will look home win, but you just have that slight fear, don't you, when you look at the league table? But it is what it is. I'm sure Paul will have everybody revved up and ready to go tomorrow. So I'm just looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing some football. To be honest, it'll be interesting to see how we get on, and hopefully we'll continue to progress. And yeah, Ben's done a great job on the pitch. Just to say, I think we've had a little bit of an issue with worms, haven't we, on the pitch, which sounds ridiculous. So Ben's done some extra work to try and head them off. I don't know whether it was to do with the fact that we didn't play on the pitch for a month, so there was less activity on it or whatever, but we just had a little bit of an issue with worm cast and things, which is unusual. So Ben's learned he's learned something, a new skill, which is sort of dealing with worms on a pitch and that sort of stuff. But he keeps on doing a good job, doesn't he? He never moans, does he? Or am I imagining that? No.
I think you got the wrong person there. Yeah. No, to be fair, the worm cast had been an issue right from day one. But looking at now, he's found some new treatment that I think is garlic based and puts the worms off. They don't like the smell or the taste of it, and I can't see a worm cast out of the window. So he's done well with his research, getting the right product and putting that on. So yeah, the pitch does look really good, to be fair.
Yeah.
And enough of saying how fantastic Ben is, because it'll only make his head even bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving on, ticket wise, obviously in December we got Kiddie on Boxing Day. That nice game. It'll be great to see the away end open with the terrace as well, that we haven't really done so far this season. Hopefully a big crowd if us and Kiddie keep going this as we are so far this season.
Yeah, proper Boxing Day fixture in it. Kidderminster Harriers at home. Really looking forward to it. You said we're going to get the tickets out, get them on sale early. I think you said 6th of December, didn't you, to get them on sale? And I think we probably would advise people to buy early, because if obviously there are quite a few games between that date and the Boxing Day fixture, and if both teams have a good run during that period, I think tickets will be pretty hard to get hold of potentially, actually, and home and away end, to be honest. And as you say, it'd be really nice to see the full away section open for the first time this season. It's necessary for us to keep the terrace closed when there's no real need to have it open, because it saves us money on stewards and various other things. So, but yeah, no, it will be really nice to get that, see that, look across and see that. Hopefully they're not enjoying themselves too much, but it'll be really nice to look across and see that. Hopefully there should be good numbers travelling, and hopefully obviously terrific numbers from the home fans as always. We had 4,000 plus on Boxing Day. Was it last year or New Year's Day? I can't quite remember. No, New Year's Day, wasn't it, last year? So hopefully we can see good numbers again. And if we can get a game as exciting with the same result as we had on Boxing Day last year, Boxing Day 2023, we'll all be happy, I think.
Yeah. We will definitely, yeah. Just a quick look at the shop. Obviously, it's Black Friday, starts today. We've got quite a few products, I think 28 things reduced in the shop today, Saturday, and online up until Monday. So plenty there for Christmas gift ideas. So if you're here tomorrow at the game, it's worth sticking your head in the shop and seeing if you can pick up a bit of a bargain.
Yeah, absolutely right. We've obviously got the Black Friday event going on over the next few days, and then obviously there's extra sessions, club shop being open, not just on match days, but on the Tuesdays and Fridays, but you've got a couple of other sessions, and you're taking the club shop on tour as well, I think, Jay, aren't you, to the Hereford Christmas market?
Yes, we're going into High Town on the 5th. That's it, yeah, High Town on the 15th of December, setting up the stall in there, so hopefully that'll be nice and busy as well. But there is a lot of items in for Christmas, and the shop's going really well at the minute. So obviously driven by everything on the pitch and the good work from Paul and the players. So yeah, we're in a good place there.
Yeah, and that Jamie Griffiths continues to do a good job with shop stock, and keeps John Sadler happy with items to sell in the shop. I said John Sadler happy. Anyway, keeps John Sadler busy in the shop with items to sell anyway, and that sort of stuff. So yeah, no, all good, Jay. Thanks for your continued hard work on that, and I'll try and keep my kids out of the shop, because it tends to cost me a fortune whenever they take a trip in there. But yeah, no, it's going really well, and hopefully long may it continue to do so.
A couple of weeks ago, last week maybe, well, time flies by, but we met up with some representatives from Bring Back United, and had I would say a really positive kind of catch up and chat about their thoughts and kind of how it could move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. We reached out to them off the back of the Hust vote. Clearly, we can't we couldn't really do anything in advance of the Hust vote, because from a club perspective, we have to remain neutral on it, because it's a decision for the club shareholders. It's not a decision for the club board or the staff or anything like that. But I just felt it was worth reaching out to the Bring Back United group, really. And more than anything, it was just to have a sort of chat, say hello, and just to emphasise that, as a club, staff and board members, we're not the enemy here. We're not trying to discourage anything. We're not trying to intervene. We're not trying to exert an influence. And we just wanted to sort of reach out, have a conversation, talk about a few things. And like I said, emphasize the fact that we're not the enemy, and we don't see them as the enemy, and hopefully that they feel the same way about us. And also really just to talk about the fact that, the one thing that we need to avoid above everything else is any division, because it's a passionate, it's an emotive subject. It always will be. Everybody's, God, we've all got hugely strong feelings about Hereford United. So yeah, it was a really good conversation. Really interested to listen to the people on the call, and hopefully they were able to ask us some questions, and we were able to give honest answers about the reality of the levels of work and that sort of stuff. But like I said, not something we can talk about in any great detail, because that's not fair to do so. But we just felt it was important to have that conversation, and I'm glad we did, and it was really good. And obviously the Bring Back United group confirmed earlier in this week that we'd spoken, and they were good as gold in terms of just checking with us that we were happy for them to confirm that. So yeah, no, we'll see how that progresses over time. I think we just sort of busy ourselves getting on with the normal day-to-day work, really, and then just see how that plays out amongst the shareholders.
There's supporters may have seen last week, I think it was announced that John Nash was leaving to take up a coaching role within women's football. So I think he goes with everyone's blessing. It'll be a big loss, obviously, but it was an opportunity that I don't think he could have turned down.
Yeah, no, Nash has done a great job for us, hasn't he, over the course of about 5 or so years, and he's been with us, I think, maybe even a little bit longer. Been a real good employee for us, a really strong character for us, and really did a great job on the community side. But as you say, an opportunity to go into like full-time coaching for him really is a fantastic thing, and just no way on earth could he turn it down. Delighted he's got the opportunity. I think he fully deserves that opportunity, because he's been doing a brilliant job with our own women's team. Obviously he's going to leave a big hole there, and he's going to be a loss for our women's team, but I'm sure the way they've been playing and the way they've been going with Malcolm Cowell there as well, they'll continue to move in the right direction. But yeah, no, just wish John all the best. Told him not to be a stranger. Hopefully we'll still see him from time to time. And yeah, no, as you said, good luck for the future, Nashi, and thank you for your contribution during your time at Edgar Street.
Well, I think he's got one more game left in charge of the women's team, and that's on Sunday, and they're here at Edgar Street against Nunnery Wood. So a good opportunity for fans to come and take a look at the women's team.
Yeah, 2:00 kickoff, isn't it, on Sunday at Edgar Street? So it'd be an interesting game for Nunnery Wood Worcester, isn't it? I think, from my basic geographical knowledge, although I do work in Worcester, so I should probably know that, shouldn't I? But yeah, no, so interesting. I'd like to think the women's team will give Nashi a good send-off. Hopefully there might be a big puddle on the side of the pitch that they can maybe launch him in to thank him and say goodbye at full time or whatever. And hopefully they can send him on his way with a really good performance and another victory, and they can continue. I mean, they've had a brilliant season so far, haven't they, with their FA Cup run, and then their, the run of wins in the league. So hopefully they can continue that and give Nashi a good send-off, because he certainly deserves it. And any support that can be put behind the women's team on Sunday, that would be absolutely fantastic.
Brilliant. Well, that's everything on my list to talk about, unless you've got anything else that you'd like to share.
No, can't think of anything. Obviously, get behind the lads tomorrow, please, everybody. Vitally important. It might be that we have to be a little bit patient during the course of the game, because they never quite run as smoothly as you hope they will. But we've had a couple of, we've had some decent home results in recent times. So hopefully we can continue to build on that and keep the lads going. And just thanks for your ongoing support, and difficult time of year for us all, isn't it, financially, Christmas? So we're incredibly grateful for the support and the people that can come to games and still can find themselves coming to game. Thank you ever so much, and we truly appreciate it.
Lovely. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.